Why did you give your best friend the power to destroy your soulmate? My friend group had this twisted veto system that we thought was protecting us from bad relationships. We'd been together since middle school, and after watching Ian get destroyed by someone who isolated him from everyone, we made a pact. Each person got assigned a guardian best friend who had 30 days to approve any new relationship. If they said no, you had two choices: break up immediately or leave the friend group forever. No negotiations, no appeals, no second chances. Jordan had been my assigned guardian since we were 13. We were matched up during that awkward phase where everyone was pairing off into best friends, and somehow it just stuck. He was there through my parents' divorce, my college rejection letters. That summer I got fired from 3 jobs. I trusted him with everything, which is why I never questioned the veto power until it was too late. I met Theo at a bookstore in February, reaching for the same copy of a book neither of us had heard of, but thought had a cool cover. We laughed about it, grabbed coffee, and talked for 6 hours straight about everything from childhood fears to whether aliens definitely exist. Theo had this way of making ordinary conversations feel like adventures. I knew within a week that this was different from anyone I'd ever dated. My previous boyfriends had all been safe choices, guys my friends already knew, but Theo was entirely mine. The introduction to the friend group went exactly how I expected at first. Theo showed up to game night with homemade brownies and actually knew how to play Settlers of Catan without a 20-minute explanation. Everyone seemed charmed. Well, everyone except Jordan, who kept finding these tiny things to criticize. Theo laughed too loud at my jokes. Theo touched my shoulder too much. Theo ordered my drink for me that one time when I was in the bathroom, which was apparently controlling behavior. Jordan's just being protective, Naya said when I brought it up at our weekly coffee run. He's always been that way with you. Remember what happened to Ian? We all missed the signs, and she was right about that. We had missed the signs with Ian's ex, who slowly cut him off from all of us until he disappeared for 2 years. When we finally got him back, he was a shell of himself. The veto system was born from that guilt. Day 29 arrived like a death sentence. Jordan texted me to meet at our usual spot, this park bench where we'd made all our big life decisions since high school. I knew before he even opened his mouth what was coming. I'm not comfortable with Sam, he said, not even looking at me. Something's just off. I begged for specifics, real reasons, anything concrete. You've known Theo for less than a month, I said. How can you be so sure? But Jordan just kept saying it was a gut feeling, that he couldn't explain it but knew I'd thank him later. The rest of the group backed him up when I tried to fight it. The rule has kept us safe for 8 years, they said. Jordan knows you better than anyone. He's never steered you wrong before. Breaking up with Theo was the hardest thing I'd ever done. I couldn't tell the truth because how insane would that sound? My male best friend voted you off the island, so we're done. Instead, I made up some garbage about not being ready for something serious, about needing to work on myself. Theo just stared at me with these confused, hurt eyes and said, "Yesterday you said you could see a future with me. What changed?" I had no answer that made sense. 6 months later, I saw Theo at a farmer's market with someone new. They were sharing a sample of apple cider, laughing at some inside joke. Theo looked lighter somehow, like my betrayal had been a weight that finally lifted. I went home and didn't leave my apartment for 3 days. Jordan showed up with soup and movies, held me while I cried, kept saying I'd find someone better. For 2 years, he was my constant comfort while I failed to connect with anyone else. Every date felt pointless because they weren't Sam. Jordan was always there after each failed attempt, reminding me that he'd never let anyone hurt me again. The truth came out by accident when I ran into Ian at a bar downtown. He'd left the group years ago, and after a few drinks, I asked why. Jordan vetoed 3 of my girlfriends, he said. 3. I compared notes with Sarah after she left the group too. Jordan vetoed 2 of her boyfriends. It was always the same pattern. The person who made us happiest, who might actually last, they got vetoed. My hands went cold around my beer. That's why he broke you and Theo up. He's been in love with you since high school. The confrontation with Jordan was ugly. He admitted everything, said he'd been in love with me since sophomore year of high school, that he thought if he just waited long enough, if he just protected me from the wrong guys, I'd realize we were meant to be together. I was always there for you. I earned this. When I told him that wasn't how love worked, he got angry. I've waited 7 years. 7 years of watching you date losers while I was right here. The friend group split down the middle. Half thought I was overreacting, that Jordan had just been confused about his feelings. I left the group that night. 5 years later, I have no close friends and Theo has a happy family.